Hey, it's James Robbins here, and I wanted to make you a really quick video helping you understand the difference between motivation and engagement, because they're actually not the same thing, even though they're closely related. And if you're a leader, you know that your success actually hinges on your ability to motivate and engage your staff fully. Okay, so to understand this, I'm going to draw you a little picture on my whiteboard here. So let me make as good a circle as I can. We're going to divide this into three, okay? This is like engagement and motivation. And in this first section, I'm going to say it's hands. This is often, when we think about motivation, hands, we employ somebody's hands when we pay them. We are asking them to do a job. There's certain things they have to get done. And so it's a very physical part, right? Like this is what they do. And so often when it comes to motivating people, this is where we focus. Like, let's get them to work harder. Let's get them to work faster. Let's get them to, just do a better job here. But what we don't realize is that though this does need motivating, it's these other two areas that actually are the key to engagement. Now, like I said, engagement is different than motivation, though they're both related. Engagement is when somebody plugs in more. And so, I guess you could call it motivation, but it's better to think of it in separate terms. So let me walk through these. Over here, what we have, we would write head. Because what we want to do is we want to engage people mentally. So you don't really think of motivating people mentally, right? Like, go motivate your staff to think. Well, no, we want to engage them to think. And how do we do that? We invite them into something. We invite them in to think beyond their role to something bigger to help the company. One of the easiest ways to engage people mentally is with a simple question. How can we do this better? How can we find a way to be more efficient, to be more productive? See, sometimes what happens is the mental part is a top-down function. In other words, the smartest people are always at the top and it trickles on down, but that kind of mindset actually kills engagement for people mentally. Think of it like this, the Einstein Factor. You want people to use parts of their brain that they don't use every day in the workplace. And I'll give you an example. I was hired to come in and do some training for some leaders in a big nationwide car rental company. Anyways, one of the things that they told me was that they were trying to press into new markets and they wanted to have a big brainstorm about it. And so they did, but it wasn't a meeting with all the senior executives, and it wasn't a meeting with outside consultants. In fact, it was a meeting with the most junior entry employees, the people who clean the cars after you and I return them. And I don't know, but that's probably not the easiest or most fun job, right? Because you know what cars look like when people bring them back, especially if their family's just been at Disney and there's popcorn everywhere and popsicle sticks stuck to the seat and, I don't know, syrupy soda drinks spilled on the side. But anyways, these are the good folks that have to clean the cars up after you and I mess them up and we drop them off. Well, they had a meeting with this group, and this group they were asked to be brought into this conversation of what can we do different, and so many ideas came to the surface. And in fact, one idea ended up launching an entire new branch and division for their company. And so that's an example of taking some employees who were doing this, they were working hard to clean cars, but they engaged them mentally just with some simple questions like, hey, what do you guys think? How can we do this better? Let's have a brainstorm. So I'm not sure when's the last time that you engaged your people mentally, but see, there's a spillover effect. When you engage them mentally, then they ended up working harder because they feel like they're a bigger part of the company. This is how we create ownership. All right, so we want to leverage the Einstein Factor by getting them to think beyond their role, and people don't naturally do this, so you have to invite them in. Now, the bottom section here, this is the other multiplier. And this is heart. Okay, so we got hands, head, and heart. How do you engage somebody on a heart level? Really what I'm talking about is emotion. How do you get somebody to emotionally plug in? And you understand this, right? We can be thinking now differently, but this makes us care. This makes us want to bring that discretionary effort, that extra oomph. This makes us stay later. This makes us care more deeply whether we succeed or fail as a company. So here's a couple of quick ways that you can do this. Number one, helping people grow, in fact. When people are being developed, we find purpose in growth. And so when you can help somebody continue to grow and develop, they will be plugged in more here. all right? The other thing is, besides growth, it's achievement. When employees have goals that they're pursuing, then they are going to be more connected emotionally, right? So it can't just be about work. It's got to be also about pursuing a goal. And when we're pursuing a goal, like I said, we are connected, we're more emotionally invested. And lastly, probably the most powerful one, is that when we can connect their role or what they're doing, their hands, when we can connect their hands with something bigger, the mission of the company, or how they're helping people, how they're making a difference. When people can connect purpose to paycheck, then they're going to engage on an emotional level. And that has huge spin-off benefits for here. Again, this comes back and feeds into this. So remember, when it comes to motivation and engagement, a lot of times we think motivation, we're focused here. But you have to think bigger than that. You have to think about engaging staff. You need to engage their head and you need to engage their heart, right? Inviting them in, and also getting them emotionally invested in what they're doing, all right? So I hope that helps. Make sure it's not just about the hands, but you also get the head and the heart going. If you found this training video helpful and you would like more, then go over to jamesrobbins.com and sign up for free leadership training that comes to your inbox every week.